Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Sleeper WR trade option for the Pittsburgh Steelers emerges. While Cooper Kupp and Mike Williams seem like the likeliest options for the Pittsburgh Steelers at wide receiver, there is a sleeper option that they will see in Pittsburgh on Monday night. New York Giants wide receiver Darius Slayton is expected to be traded before the trade deadline, and he could make sense for the Steelers if they want to get a faster deep threat. Sources around the league believe the Giants could part with Darius Slayton as the deadline nears, CBS NFL insider Jonathan Jones wrote. Slayton, 27, is in the last year of his 2-year contract with the team. For the Steelers, he would purely be a rental, but they could bring him back if he impresses over the second half of the season and become a long-term piece for the team. Slayton has over 300 receiving yards next to Malik Nabers as the WR2 for a struggling Giants offense. Drafted out of Auburn, Slayton has grasped a clear role in the Giants offense as a route runner who can work as a deep threat. For the Steelers, that would fit their offense, and he would likely only cost a day 3 pick to be traded for if that is where the team looks to upgrade at wide receiver. Miami Dolphins sign former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver. The Miami Dolphins have signed former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Tarik Black to their practice squad, the team announced on Wednesday. Miami is Black's first stop since the Steelers waived/injured him back in August after he suffered a hamstring injury during one of the team's final training camp sessions. Black was signed by the Steelers after rookie wide receiver Roman Wilson suffered a high ankle sprain. However, Black suffered his own injury just as he climbed up the depth chart, ending any chances he would have of making a roster or practice squad push in Pittsburgh. A former Michigan product, Black spent the first portion of his career with the Baltimore Ravens in their training camp and on their practice squad, but failed to crack through in a meaningful role. He now joins the Dolphins, who will be welcoming back quarterback Tua Tagovailoa after he missed time with a concussion. RP: I think the answer here is yes, but I'm also certain the Steelers shouldn't expect 30-plus points every week. Wilson's debut was a roller coaster, which wasn't unexpected. I've been telling you in this space for months that Wilson is a streaky passer who relies more on improvisation than his ability to execute a strict game plan. Following the win, the narrative surrounding Wilson's abysmal first half has largely been that he was rusty after not playing in a game since last Christmas. Some of that is certainly true. Still, going 8-4-19 in the first half is less than ideal, and fans in attendance voiced their displeasure with a loud chorus of boos on multiple occasions. But that changed in the second half. Thanks to a favorable game script, the Steelers actually asked Russ to do less after the break. After starting 8-4-19, Russ was much more efficient on fewer attempts in the second half, going 8-4-10 and 119 yards. That yardage mostly came from 3 completions, an underthrown ball that deflected off the defender's arms and was plucked by George Pickens on the deflection for 37 yards, a perfectly placed 21-yard floater that fell into Pat Freiermuth's outstretched arm, and Wilson's final pass, a 36-yard catch and run by Calvin Austin III that came off of play action and was made possible by a well-executed rub route from Pickens. Russ also induced a 29-yard defensive pass interference penalty on another go-ball attempt to Pickens. All told, it was a pretty typical Russ game. Like a shooter in basketball, Russ goes through periods of hot and cold play. As he gets older, he's starting to lose some juice, as seen on several underthrown balls this game, but when he's hot, the shot is still nice. As long as he maintains his deep ball accuracy, that's a recipe for low turnovers, and is a similar plan to what the Steelers were using with Justin Fields. To use another basketball analogy, Russ passes like a modern basketball chooses their shots, mostly layups and three-pointers. When the shots are falling, it's the greatest feeling in the world. I'm skeptical we will see these hit on a consistent basis. Downfield 50-50 balls are difficult to execute efficiently, but I'd be a fool to deny they were an element that was desperately missing from this offense. Fields has the arm to go deep, but it's undeniable there is a harder degree of difficulty catching his passes. Russ' patented moonballs are far more receiver-friendly than the line drives and lasers Fields throws, a fact Chris Collinsworth brought up several times during the broadcast. The Steelers' defense had an A-plus performance on Sunday night. The return of Alex Highsmith reinvigorated the pass rush and was crucial in shutting down the outside runs the Jets love to get star running back Breece Hall. Beanie Bishop's 2 interceptions were also huge for the Steelers. His first allowed the Steelers to enter the 2-minute drill near midfield and helped get Russ back in rhythm. Bishop's second interception included a return that gave the Steelers first and goal on the 1-yard line. In my opinion, some of those friendly bounces helped Russ' night ultimately look more prolific than it was. He did complete just 55% of his passes, and there will be games against better opponents where the defense struggles or the running game is ineffective. Still, the energy around the team was hard to deny, and it's not like Fields' wins were pretty either. The play-action game was demonstrably better. The deep shots weren't perfect, but it felt like Russ' throws gave the Steelers' playmakers a better chance to come down with the ball. And whether Fields wasn't able to or wasn't allowed to, the fact that Russ noticeably had the ability to change looks at the line of scrimmage was another element that was underrated in the victory. Can Russ keep this up? I hope so. I'm happy with the results even if the tape leaves plenty of room for skepticism. What I think we learned Sunday is the Steelers can find a way to win with either of these guys at quarterback. If Russ can keep making the routine plays routinely and consistently hit in the vertical passing game, the job will remain his. If he doesn't, the Steelers know they can go back to Fields and find ways to win. We've been telling you here at Read and React since the schedule was released that regardless of who starts at quarterback, division play will ultimately decide how far the Steelers go this season. That begins November 17th. Buckle up. RB, I'm a bit more bullish on Wilson than Ryan, but I agree with the gist of what he wrote. Wilson had a lot of lucky plays on Sunday night that aren't guaranteed to work in the future. And I'll beat you to it. Justin Fields had a lot of luck early this season as well, but we're talking about Wilson specifically, okay? I already wrote my thoughts on Wilson following the game, and Ryan covered a lot of bases above, so I'll keep my thoughts short on this one. Steelers favorites to acquire Rams Wr Cooper Kupp. The NFL trade deadline is in less than 2 weeks, and teams have already begun making moves. The Buffalo Bills acquired Amari Cooper just hours after the New York Jets traded for Davante Adams. The Kansas City Chiefs got in on the action and acquired DeAndre Hopkins early Wednesday morning. Could the Pittsburgh Steelers be next? According to Sports Betting AG, the Steelers are the favorites to land Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp at -125 odds. Other teams in the mix include the Los Angeles Chargers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Steelers have long been in the rumor mill when it comes to wide receivers. For 4 months, they were in the midst of the Brandon Ayuk saga that saw the star receiver stay in San Francisco. Pittsburgh was also rumored to be heavily pursuing Davante Adams before he was traded to the Jets. Kupp would be a great addition, as his ability to get open over the middle from the slot, as well as the versatility to play on the boundary, would give the Steelers a do-everything weapon. However, given his injury history and age, as well as the money he is owed, would the Steelers really give up a second-round pick for the 31-year-old? Or would they be able to come to an agreement for less compensation on their end? Regardless, Kupp would make Pittsburgh instantly better. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Cooper Kupp? Leave your opinion in the comments.